Hello everyone, this is John from Western Maine Defensive Tactics, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Bowie knives again today, and basically tie up the budget Bowie series, and answer the question, well, not really the question, but the statement, why don't I bother with Bowie knives like these, like this one, this Shrade? Well, we'll get on to that in a minute. Let me stick this one in here. This is the big-bellied Shrade. I actually like the looks of this knife pretty well. Or the little Shrade like this. Why don't I really like knives like that? I'll stick them down here so you can actually get a better look at them. But you've all seen this one. This is the narrow one. I'm going to throw these right back in here. This is the narrow one. This is a little wider bellied blade. Why don't I bother with these? Well, you probably can't see it, but this one has a little edge damage. I picked this one up at Walmart the other day for 20 bucks with this and another knife. I was going to wait for it to go on sale, but they were disappearing. Because this is as cheap Bowie knives go, this isn't a bad looking knife. This one I've had for a year or so. I got this after Christmas at Tractor Supply for, I think, 15 bucks. And I haven't really done a lot with it. Why? Because I already know the flaws of these knives. I can look at them and look at the way they're constructed and know what's wrong with them as far as being a Bowie knife. Well, let's start with this one. The handle's very, very short. The primary problem with both of these knives is the steel is about, I measured it last night. It's about 0.160, 160 thick. That's pretty thin. Stainless steel, but I'm honestly not that concerned with the stainless steel. And it's hollow grind. Hollow ground here. Has a hollow grind. The edge thickness is very, very thin. It's, if I remember correctly, it's 0.025, which is a lot thinner than it should be. This one's about the same steel thickness and about the same edge thickness. That's way too thin at the edge for a knife that's going to be out and out in the woods chopping and things like that. That's how I did a little chopping last night, a very little chopping last night, and rippled the edge on this one. Something that the other knife I'm going to show you, the Hornby Bowie, has done hours and hours of, and it's never bothered at all. But these are okay. You know, they're $20 Bowie knives. You're not going to get a good commercially manufactured Bowie knife for 20 bucks. It's just not going to happen. Now, would I feel unarmed with one of these? No, you still get a 10-inch blade. And in this particular knife, I like this one a lot better because the handle is a lot longer. It's almost an inch longer. And I like the handle shape, though the handle material leaves something to be desired. It's a bit slick. If it was the actual Delrin or whatever Shrade uses, this is actually just a plastic. It's not the Delrin that was on the old pocket knives. It's just a plastic. Though you could pop the scales off this and put ravens. Thank you. Does that mean I'm going to die? A raven flew over? Anyway. But I'm ready. I got 2 Bowie knives. Anyway, fooling around today. It's Christmas Eve. So I'm in a fairly good mood, and I'm out here in the woods, and we had a pretty good storm last night. I just did my fire video. But anyway, let's get back to Bowie knives. Why don't I like these? Because they suffer edge damage. The edge, or the construction of the edge, isn't rugged enough. It doesn't have the material to back up the edge to do any serious chopping with. And it's just, I cut down a little sapling like this, and I went and hacked on a log that was a stick about this size, a branch, outside where I keep my horse hay last night in the dark. I got back in the house and realized, oh wow, I screwed up that edge. Is that really a surprise? No, because I measured the knife and said, yeah, this knife is going to bend at the edge. It's going to happen. Now, if you want to create a knife like this, or if I was to redesign this knife from Shrade, I'd use thicker steel. If they wanted to use the stock removal method, okay. I would increase the thickness of the steel beyond 3/16. I'd go probably 0.22, just under 1/4 of an inch, to make it so it's not a big crowbar and things like that. I would use a grind maybe this high, but I'd do a saber convex grind. You'd still have some problems with it sticking up in here, but at least it wouldn't ripple at your edge. You might be able to get away with a thick saber, you know, like a flat grind, what they used to call a saber grind. Now everybody thinks a saber grind is a hollow grind. Not quite. You might be able to get away with it. You'd have a little bit more heft because this frankly, this is too light. It's got no lead in its ass. It has no power. You've really got a hammer on it, which that velocity and the power you put on it makes that edge damage just that much greater. And I walk back here, and this knife, the one thing about this knife is I sharpened it, and man, I got nice and sharp. I mean, I don't have any hair left on my arms at all from this thing, but I'll go hack a little bit and just show you what it can do. I mean, it doesn't penetrate, doesn't penetrate, doesn't penetrate. Oh, if I go after the dead stuff, it's gonna look awesome, but. Dead stuff doesn't count. I don't really want to cut a lot of stuff right here. Anyway. I could move you guys a little bit. And we might be able to get this on camera. It does. It's marginal. If you don't have a real... Here we go. This one's not bad. If you don't have a real... high performance expectation, this knife is going to be okay. Would it work for cutting meat? Yeah, sure. You could use this as a big butcher knife. It'd be fine. So with this one, and I guess if you want something for a self-defense knife that's real light, that has some reach, okay, but don't expect striking power. On the opposite end of the spectrum is this. This is my hornbeam bowie, the big ugly one that I used to hate. But if I was going to disappear and go live in the woods for a while, this would be the knife I take, as ugly as it is. This thing, it's got some lead in its ass. Cut it, it'll break it. All right. You can see me kind of a little bit. Whoop. There we go. Once I get a grip on it anyway. Cuts great. And it's not a delicate edge, and I just tromped all over my gloves like an idiot. It's not a delicate edge. It's not thin. But man, it holds up pretty good. And let me tell you, it is too sharp to be sliding around on ice. It's razor sharp. Holds that edge. This is the knife I take out to clear saplings off the fence line. I can do that for hours without worrying about it. Take off trees like this as long as they're, well, let's say popples an inch or two, they'll cut like they're carrots. And let's say a beech up to 1.25 inches I can take right off. Larger beech I might have to take 3 whacks at. You know, it's not that big a deal, but it's knives like this I'm just done with. It's a waste of money if you think you're going to get a real Bowie knife. It's not. There are other knives out there, and I've reviewed a couple of those that aren't bad. The M-Tech Bowie. A friend of mine lent me one of those a few years ago, and I worked with it a little bit, and I automatically just pretty much dismissed it in my mind, and so then I started working with it. You know, for a stainless steel production Bowie for 20 bucks, it's not that bad. I think it's the 151, but it's not that bad. But if you want a real Bowie knife, you're going to have to pay real Bowie knife prices. That's just it. If you're only a casual Bowie knife kind of guy, these are going to be fine. The M-Tech is going to be fine. But if you want a real Bowie knife and you want to experience what a real Bowie knife is, oh, I can't think of a production knife right off the top of my head that would really satisfy me, because I'm getting to be a crotchety old bastard and I have to make everything myself. So one of these. And I tried to force a patina on this. I'm not really happy with it, but it'll grow. But this is my current, of the old crowd of knives that you've already seen, this is my my favorite. Because if I need to just go do something, I just take the hornbeam with me because it works. Yes, it's got some design flaws, and if you watch my other videos, you know about those. But you know what? The damn thing just keeps on trucking, and I haven't been able to destroy it, no matter how much I throw it or bounce off trees. All right, you guys have a Merry Christmas.